The year was 1959. Deep in the snow-covered Ural mountains of Soviet Russia, 9 experienced hikers set off on a journey they would never complete. Their bodies were discovered weeks later, under circumstances so bizarre that it spawned decades of speculation. This is the story of the Dyatlov Pass Incident. Led by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student, the group included 8 others. Zinaida Kolmogorova, 22, energetic and determined. Yuri Doroshenko, 21, known for his courage. Lyudmila Dubinina, 20, the heart of the group, despite her fiery personality. Rustem Slobodin, 23, athletic and strong-willed. Nikolai Thibault Brignol, 24, a free-spirited soul. Alexander Kolovatov, 24, quiet and methodical. Yuri Krivonishenko, 23, the joker of the group. Semyon Zolotaryov, 38, the enigmatic newcomer, a late addition to the team. On January 27, 1959, they began their trek into the wilderness, aiming to conquer Mount Otterten. None of them would make it back alive. February 1st, 1959. The hikers established their final campsite on the barren slopes of Kholat Syakhl, known as Dead Mountain in the local Mansi language, a decision later deemed unusual, as better sheltered areas were nearby. But why they chose this spot remains unknown. That night, something happened, something that forced them to flee their tent in sheer terror. When rescuers found their campsite weeks later, the scene was haunting. The hikers had cut their way out of the tent and fled into the freezing night, some barefoot, all inadequately dressed for temperatures as low as -30 degrees Celsius. The first bodies were discovered under a cedar tree nearly a mile from the campsite. Yuri Krivonishenko and Yuri Doroshenko, dressed in only their underclothes, their hands raw and bloody from trying to climb the tree. Nearby, the remnants of a small fire were found. As the search continued, 3 more bodies, those of Dyatlov, Kolmogorova, and Slobodin, were found scattered between the tent and the tree, as if they were trying to return to camp. Rustem Slobodin's skull showed a small fracture but no fatal wounds. All appeared to have died of hypothermia. It was the discovery of the remaining 4 hikers that deepened the mystery. Found buried in a ravine under several feet of snow, their injuries were far more severe. Lyudmila Dubinina had broken ribs, and her tongue and eyes were missing. Semyon Zolotaryov also had broken ribs, with injuries consistent with massive force. Nikolai Thibault Brignol suffered a fractured skull. Alexander Kolovatov appeared less injured, but had signs of exposure. Bizarrely, there were no external wounds corresponding to these internal injuries, leading some experts to liken them to the impact of a car crash. Even stranger, their clothes were found to contain traces of radiation. What could have caused such chaos? Over the years, countless theories have emerged. Avalanche. The avalanche theory is one of the most conventional explanations for the incident. Proponents suggest that a slab avalanche, a sudden release of a compact layer of snow, may have struck the hikers' campsite, forcing them to flee in panic. If snow began to collapse above their tent, the hikers may have cut their way out to escape the perceived danger. Also, the crushing force of compacted snow could explain the broken ribs and fractured skulls found on some of the hikers. Skeptics say this theory is flawed. Why? The campsite was located on a slope with an angle less than 30 degrees, which is considered unlikely to trigger an avalanche. Rescue teams found no evidence of significant snow displacement or other typical signs of an avalanche. The hikers' footprints leading away from the tent were visible, something that would likely have been obliterated by an avalanche. Modern research, including a 2021 study using advanced simulation techniques, suggested that a rare and small slab avalanche could fit the circumstances. However, skeptics argue that this theory still leaves many unanswered questions. Military testing. The Soviet Union during the 1950s was a hotbed of secretive military projects. This theory posits that the hikers accidentally wandered into an area where experimental weapons or missile testing was taking place. Key points. Witnesses in the region reported seeing bright orange orbs in the sky around the time of the hikers' deaths. These could have been flares or explosions from military tests. Traces of radioactive material were found on the clothing of some hikers, fueling speculation about exposure to a weapon or radioactive fallout. The case was swiftly closed with a vague conclusion of a compelling natural force, and documents were allegedly classified, adding to suspicions of state involvement. Counterpoints. The radiation on the hikers' clothing may have come from contaminated items since some hikers worked in environments where they were exposed to radioactive substances. While the theory is compelling, no concrete evidence links military activity to the deaths. Despite its speculative nature, the military testing theory is supported by those who believe the government deliberately suppressed evidence about what really happened. Infrasound theory proposed in 2013 by researcher Donnie Ikar. The infrasound theory offers a psychological explanation. This hypothesis suggests that unique weather conditions on the slopes of Kholat Syakhl created a Kármán vortex street, a series of air vortices capable of producing low-frequency sound waves, or infrasound. Infrasound is known to induce feelings of unease, dread, and even panic in humans, as it can affect the inner ear and brain. Under the influence of infrasound, the hikers could have experienced extreme fear, fled the tent, and become disoriented in the freezing cold. Counterpoints. This theory doesn't account for the physical injuries found on the bodies, particularly the severe internal trauma. While infrasound is a documented phenomenon, there's no proof it occurred in this specific instance. The infrasound theory is praised for its creativity but remains largely theoretical, as it relies on speculative environmental conditions. Paranormal theories. For those drawn to the unexplainable, paranormal theories have flourished. These range from UFOs and extraterrestrial involvement to cryptid attacks like a Yeti or other mysterious creatures. UFOs. Witnesses reported mysterious lights in the sky, interpreted by some as extraterrestrial craft. The theory posits that the hikers may have encountered an alien presence, leading to panic and death. The radiation on their clothing and the unusual injuries are cited as potential evidence. Yeti attack. The torn tent and severe injuries have been linked by some to an attack by a cryptid, such as a Yeti. Advocates of this theory point to Russian folklore and the isolated wilderness as fertile ground for such a creature. Other supernatural forces. Local Mansi legends spoke of forbidden mountains and cursed lands, adding an eerie cultural backdrop to the event. Some believe the hikers fell victim to a malevolent force tied to the area. Counterpoints. No signs of a struggle with an animal. Tracks of a large creature or physical evidence of a UFO were found. While intriguing, these theories lack substantiation and rely heavily on interpretation of ambiguous details. The incident has left more questions than answers. In 2020, Russian authorities reopened the case and attributed the deaths to a rare avalanche, but this explanation has done little to quell the speculation. The Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the most chilling and enduring mysteries of the modern age. Were these 9 lives claimed by nature, human error, or something beyond our understanding? In the end, the answers lie buried beneath the snow, lost to time. All we have are the fragments of a story, one that continues to captivate, terrify, and mystify us to this day. What do you think happened at Dyatlov Pass? Share your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Until next time, keep questioning and stay curious.